Hello everyone. Okay, so since I saw many comments where they were asking me about like what was my rank and whether I was able to get a seat via the GATE DA exam which I gave, and I also shared my some of the written experiences on this channel, as well as some of the interview experiences, so you can watch them. And also, since GATE DA exam is coming, uh, I just wanted to share like a few things about it, like what was my experience and what rank I felt was a good enough rank to get a seat in top tier institutes for the, like, AIML courses. So I would say ki like, my rank was like under 100 but greater than 50. So it was not a very safe rank, to be honest, because like there are very few seats available for AIML courses, and in those particular courses also there are a lot of other branches are also allowed. So if you see IIT Delhi Minds program, like at least the last year so many branches were allowed to apply for that. So what happens is ki, like, CS people, like, if you see for the MTech CSE programs, like most of the MTech CSE programs at different institutes, they will only allow the people who are coming from GATE CSE background. They don't allow GATE DA people to go into GATE CS, and of course that doesn't even make any sense. Like CSE has a lot more syllabus to complete and a lot more things to know, and GATE DA is like not at all like that. It's like, like it covers some sections of CSE maybe, but that too, like it's not that much in depth. Like we have DSA and GATE DA also, but first of all it's in Python, which is like a way more easy to learn than C or C++. Secondly, it's like, it's not even that much of a focus for us. Like for us, math is the most focus, like the major focus is on math only. We are supposed to know the math. It will still be fine to some extent if we don't know DSA that much, but we cannot be a good ML engineer, or we can not be good in the MLAI field if we are not very confident with the math part of it. So even if you go to some good master's program in ML or AI, you will see a lot more of math than just the CSE. It's not like it's very difficult math. It's good. Like it's not like it's pure mathematics, a lot of it. It's application side of it. Like here at ISC, what I observed was the first semester consists only of the, like, three of the courses are majorly math based, like heavy math courses, and we don't even have any of the MLAI courses in the very first semester. Like we can take some course if we want to. One of the course is allowed, we can take, and many people even take it if they feel that they are able to complete it without compromising the grades of the other subjects. But yeah, it's very difficult to manage, because the kind of mathematical background they expect is like, you might be, they, what do they expect, at least what I felt that they expected was that we had some prior knowledge and some bits of real analysis, like if you know about the open sets and terminologies like that, and not just know about them, like you should be having some intuitive idea about them. You can see about those things getting used in the optimization courses a lot more often. So although optimization is a very, like, since we all know that optimization is very very important for MLAI, so yeah, like you will need to know a lot more math for that course. But we also have a DSA course in our first sem. It's a good course, but I won't say it's very much like of a difficult course, even if you are from a non CSE background, because most of it is like sort of a, I mean, it's not like where you have to code in your exams or something like that. It's more like you have to prove the algorithm, the correctness of the algorithm, that whether it is working fine or not, and you have to like compute the time complexities and something like that. Mostly it's like that. a few more things will be like that, where you have to design some algorithm. So that is also sort of mathematical in nature if you think about it clearly. So even I am from a non CSE background. Like I'd never had a proper DSA course in college in my bachelor's, but I won't say I was very good in the DSA course in terms of the marks and all, but yeah, I found that course very interesting and I liked the content of the course. DSA was one of those subjects. So yeah, coming to the question that what is a safer rank, I would say ki if you get somewhat around under 50, it's a very good thing, like you can be expecting a lot, like many, you will at least get calls for the written test or the interviews, but it also depends on how you perform there. So just make sure one thing, even if you do very well in your gate D exam, don't just leave your preparation then and there. You need to know this one thing, that gate DA is not sufficient alone to get into the colleges. Most of the programs take an additional interview or a test. So it's better if you keep on at least revising the math part of it, because there might be, like, at ISC in the MTech AI test or even in the CDS test, they don't ask you about the ML, but they will ask you about the math. So math is very important. Even if you don't want to revisit the ML or DSA, it's still okay to some extent. Although IIT Minds has an exam which actually asks for ML and DSA section, so you might need to focus on which program you are targeting at, and you should look into the syllabus and you should prepare, like, not very, I'm not saying that you should prepare very religiously. After giving the exam, like, take some break and then you can start, because once the results are out, like, ISC will roll out their call letters within somewhat like a 1 week or so, and then you may or may not have a lot of time to prepare depending upon what you are doing right now, whether you are in college or whether you are working or whether it's your drop year. So I would suggest it's better that like, you can just don't completely leave out your preparation after your gate DA is done. So it's better if you prepare for it, like, just kind of keep on revising and just keep it fresh, a bit fresh in your memory. The tests and interviews aren't that hard usually, for at least for the MTech people. If you are going for a PhD, it might be a very, like, you might need a lot of depth for the PhD interview, especially in the math part of it, because yeah, I think the PhD interviews are way more difficult to crack. But MTech ones are still okay, like, they don't expect a lot. So it's slightly more easy to get into the MTech if your gate exam score is good. The interviews and tests won't haunt you that much, but PhD interviews are way more difficult than to crack into. So yeah, keep that one thing in mind. And regarding the rank, obviously it's always good to be on the safer side, but since most of us cannot control the kind of rank we get in the final exam, it's better not to stress about it. Just keep on working, just keep on giving the mocks right now, because this is one of those crucial times where we feel like we are still not prepared, like, even I remember very precisely last year at this particular time, I thought ki I don't know anything in ML, and that was actually a true realization for me, that I wasn't able to solve most of the ML questions in my mock test. So I worked harder on that, and that was the reason that I was able to improve to some extent. I was not like previously in my mocks, I was observing this pattern that as soon as I saw a ML question, I was like a bit of terrified that okay, this question may not be, I might not be able to solve this one also. But when I moved ahead with, when I prepared for it again, specifically for the ML part only, and then I was able to see the confidence coming up and everything. So yeah, I would say it's better to know what are your strengths and weaknesses, instead of just judging yourself like, yeah, I don't know anything right now or stuff like that. Try not to do that. And yeah, it's better to focus on health also, because most of the time we end up ignoring that. Like I also did to some extent, and then I kind of felt that consequence before the exams. So I would suggest, do not ignore your health, do not do the night outs and things, and try to study harder in the nights. It usually doesn't work that well. So it's almost like the time when you can start making yourself more active in the time duration when you have your exam. So yeah, I think this is all I had to share. And just let me know in case you guys have any other questions or any other things that you want me to discuss about. I can also discuss those things in case something is requested. Okay, then, all the best.